Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, MT, and while the Spider-Man No Way Home post-credit scene with Tom Hardy's Venom sets up a reborn Peter Parker with an exciting new black birthday suit for Spider-Man 4, a lot of Venom fans were understandably a little bit shocked to see Eddie and Venom quickly leave the MCU universe without eating at least one person, or at the very least, leaving a tip for the bartender who just recapped the entirety of the Infinity Saga for your rude drunk ass. Like, where the hell were you, Venom? Lady Liberty needed her lethal loogie while your lips were loose with liquor. Well, according to No Way Home writers Chris McKenna and Eric Summers in their recent interview with Variety, the people who love to spoil comic book movies, I don't know why they do that, please stop. While Eddie and Venom's MCU cameo was ultimately cut short, having Sony's Odd Couple play a role in the greatest Spider-Man team-up of all time at the Statue of Liberty was something that was definitely discussed during production, which means that we, the people of the Speculation Nation, must speculate on just how this scene could have gone down. So let's dive into it, my nerd babies. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Okay, so at the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage, after Venom stuffs his stomach with his Herald son at the wedding reception, Venom just casually brings up his multiversal hive mind that he's always had access to during honeymoon pillow talk with his husband Eddie.
Wait, you hiding stuff from me?
80 billion light years of hive knowledge across universes would explode your tiny little brain.
And then we see Venom and Eddie's hotel accommodations drastically upgraded after Magic Rick and Morty flubba-dubba-dub-dubbed the Runes of Koth-Kal spell that sends Eddie and Venom to the MCU that we all know and love. And according to these same writers, as we've long expected here on New Rockstars, the reason why Eddie and Venom were transported to the MCU along with Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electric Django, and all those other people who knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man was because the idea is that the symbiote has knowledge of other universes. Buried in his brain is some knowledge of that connection. This means that at least one Venom symbiote within the Marvel live-action multiverse had that specific knowledge of Peter Parker's identity as Spider-Man, specifically Sam Raimi's version from Spider-Man 3, who perished via a devastating combo of banging pots and pans and the power of friendship. Also, a bomb, but you know, mostly the power of friendship. And I believe that it is because of these very memories of Raimi Venom lodged within Hardy Venom's multiversal hive subconscious that Venom felt the urge and compulsion to lick the screen at the very sight of Tom Holland Peter Parker, but not because Tom Holland is a handsome man like I initially assumed. From the very first introduction of the Raimi Venom symbiote at the beginning of Spider-Man 3, that very same symbiote has been obsessed with the radioactive nature of Tobey Maguire Peter Parker's biology. And having Tobey Maguire Peter Parker be the very first human host it latched onto after arriving on this new strange planet was literally like hitting the lottery for this rude goo dude, because Peter was pretty much the most evolved person on his planet. I mean, as far as we know anyway. And this is why the symbiote was a hardcore stage 5 clinger when Tobey wanted to break up with him after Sunday night church and decided to bond with Eddie Brock instead, a man intent on the death of Peter Parker.
I want you to kill Peter Parker.
Because at the end of the day, if the symbiote couldn't bond with Peter, he was for sure going to absorb his weird Spider-Man energy by eating that goofy nerd, because why not? If 2022 is the year you finally start your own business, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence for that business. The kind of presence that makes your old boss wish you hadn't left and regret accidentally eating your lunch from the company fridge that one time. Squarespace lets you present members-only gated content, connect your social media accounts, present video content, and all other cool features to give you a super cool, super functional website for your hobby or your business. Squarespace will even sell you a URL, which is really awesome. Collect the emails of interested folks and send custom newsletters to keep them up to date on what you're doing and all the cool new business stuff that you're up to. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/newrockstars to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/newrockstars for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And we thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. So, knowing all of this, I think it would make sense to glean that if Jon Watts and Marvel Studios decided to integrate Tom Hardy's Venom within that final battle in No Way Home, it would likely be alongside No Way Home's Fearsome Five to make a truly Sinister Six showdown at the Statue of Liberty. Because the end of Venom Let There Be Carnage marked the very beginnings of Eddie and Venom's decision to fully embrace the title of Lethal Protector. So what better way to do that than to go after J. Jonah Jameson's public enemy #1, who also happens to be the most delicious snack your subconscious hive mind and Zendaya have ever seen. So I'm speculating that one of Marvel Studios' plans for Tom Hardy and Venom was to have Tom Hardy and Venom accidentally join the Sinister Six because they mistake them for the Avengers that the bartender was talking to them about while they were drunk. So that, combined with Venom's immense cosmic thirst for Peter's teenage body, which is very weird, would definitely justify this heroic Venom variant's actions against spider heroes Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Before Norman, of course, puts the lime in the coconut that is the box and twists the multiverse all up. And that is usually the point where one Lethal Protector would tend to realize that the Lethal Protector was on the wrong side of multiversal history. When the cracks appear in the sky, that's how you know to switch sides. And that's what he would do at that point. He would switch sides to aid his new Spider Brothers to cure and help out the rest of those refugees of the MCU Spider-Verse. And my God, would it have been super cool to see all 4 of them doing their thing together and for Venom to be inspired by those 3 Spider-Men and like donning the symbol. That would be really cool. However, I very much understand why Marvel Studios did the things the way they did in No Way Home. For one, having Venom introduced in the final battle as a Spider-Man enemy might not be the best way for a lot of audiences unfamiliar with this new Venom to get to know that character, because it's just a bad first impression. Like, Sony has been trying to sell Venom as a good guy for the longest time, despite Venom's claim to fame being one of Spider-Man's greatest foes in the comics. So, though his actions against the Spider-Man would be justified in this scenario where he mistakes them as enemies of the Avengers, it's just not the best first impression to give a lot of people. And secondly, and most importantly in my opinion, I think the MCU just wants Tom Holland Peter Parker to go through a comic-accurate retelling of his first interactions with the symbiote suit in Spider-Man 4. However, MCU Peter Parker can't really go through that discovery if he has just a full-on run-in with both Tom Hardy's Venom and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, who could both just give Peter the full lowdown on just what this black goo that Tobey Maguire brought up earlier even is. I just think that Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal and all the people involved just figured that it would be a lot more fun if Peter Parker had to just figure out his emo stage of puberty in every Spider-Man's life by himself. Well, you know, by himself with the help of a little friend by the name of Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, who we know are coming to the MCU very soon, and is the very person in the comics who reveals to Peter what the symbiote even is. Like, I would put $1 million on all of us getting to see a bombastic bagman Spider-Man in the MCU very soon, because I'm sure emo Peter would definitely want to end his biochemical romance with Venom after a piece of news like that were to come from a smart man like Reed Richards. Peter, your suit's trying to kill you. He's sucking your life out of you. He's making you evil. Take it off. Thank you, Dr. Richards. I should not have touched it. But that is how I think Venom would have been integrated within that final scene in Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, I'm very happy with what we got, but I am curious as to what you guys think would have happened. So let us know what you think in the comment section below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can follow me on Twitter at MasterTainment if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. But most importantly, follow New Rockstars on YouTube, Twitter, wherever we are, so you can keep up with the New Rockstars conversation at all times. And of course, hit up newrockstarsmerch.com so you can get cool shirts like this. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. I love you guys so much. Goodbye.